Hey, I'm Chris with the Ojai Art Festival, and I'm here with Hallie Katz, who is co-owner of the Human Arts Gallery. And I don't know, what can we start off with? What is your gallery about? What do you have in here?
Well, we feature, I would say, fine American crafts in a lot of different materials and styles, but mainly we look for something that we love and then wait for people to come along and like it too. A lot of color, a lot of folksy design, some rustic things, and some very finely done things. We're known for our jewelry collection. I'm a jeweler, still making jewelry, and we have the work of about 170 artists total, and some wonderful furniture as well. Colorful furniture made by an artist named David Marsh in Houston, Texas. And we have collected artists all around the country.
What happens in your head? How do you, in your and Stan's head, about how you choose things that go in here?
You know, in my mind, it's certainly has to come up to some certain criteria. Um, how things are made is really important, but you've got to hyperventilate. You've got to see something, absolutely love it, and you feel your heart start to race, and you know this is something you've got to have. Of course, we try to keep in mind what will sell. Obviously, we can't keep the doors open if we don't have something that will sell.
Mm.
But we feel very good about showcasing artists, many of whom are well known throughout the country, and some of them are brand new, are emerging artists. Some of them are working in quirky colors and materials, um, and we support that. So we've always looked for things that are made out of interesting things like recycled
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
materials. I think we were kind of ahead of our time, actually, in that respect. And and I've even made jewelry at one point out of materials that I found in my studio that didn't cost me anything. Put it together as sort of an anti-bling jewelry statement. In fact, this is one piece that I got when I was in Australia that is made out of recycled leather from thrift shops,
Mm-hmm.
bags and belts that two girls in Sydney cut up and stitched together and created a sort of interesting line of jewelry. So I've been a big fan of
Mm-hmm.
things like that.
Mm-hmm. And what makes art from reused or recycled material so compelling, as opposed to other kinds of art?
Well, I think for me, it means it's compelling because the artist used some kind of otherworldly judgment to put these pieces together that are disparate and basically refuse, put it together in a beautiful and orderly way to make something intriguing. It doesn't necessarily have to be beautiful, but it has to be very interesting. Case in point, this basket
Mm-hmm.
is one of my favorite things, thank you, in my collection
I
at
love it.
home. And this is a piece by Carl Vidstrand, an artist that we show here in the gallery. He made this specifically for us, and it's a beer can. He took the beer can and stripped it and opened it up and added more cans to it, more pieces. Also sardine cans, odd bits, pull different pulls from soda pop cans, and all kinds of things. Bumblebee tuna, soybean, blah, blah, blah. It's just the most fun little and sophisticated piece with shells hanging from the outside. So he's somebody that I call visionary.
And when people come into the shop and see something like this, I mean, what do they say or think, or do their eyes go pop or something?
You know, I have some of his larger baskets up there, and they're very important looking because of the size.
Mm-hmm.
Not everybody can accommodate something so large in their home. But we did sell a lot of his smaller baskets and several of the larger pieces. Uh, Certain people respond. I had one piece that was filled with buttons, and a lady from the Fashion Institute of Design in Los Angeles bought it
Mm-hmm.
because the buttons called out to her. and it was a very sophisticated and large work of art. So we're always happy when we find the right home for something like this.
And is this supposed to be used in some way or just looked at?
No, it's really just an art piece, and I have it in my house setting up on a shelf so that you can really see it from the side. It's just a curiosity.
That's so cool.
And there are going to be people that walk in the door who don't get it at all. And then there will be others that start to hyperventilate. And they will be the ones that say, I've got to have it.
And what about the people that don't get it? I mean, do you take the time to educate them about what this is about? And do they see it at some point? Or are there people who walk out here like, oh, this is crazy, and I'm never coming back?
You know, I've always been attracted to this type of thing ever since I first saw work by, let's say, Louise Nevelson, Joseph Cornell, people like Edward Kienholz, who did assemblage. I mean, in those days it was called assemblage. And there are people that we meet who come through Ojai, who are familiar with that type of artwork. But if they're not, yeah, we tell them, oh, this is made by a wonderful artist out in the desert who scavenges for pieces wherever he is. He picks up junk and he creates art out of it. And we give them a little story. And that's our edge here. We can talk to people. It's not a big department store. And generally in Ojai, all of these stores are owner-operated. People are there to talk to you when you come in. And for me, the education process is definitely part of it. If nothing else, I can give them a story and entertain them. And then, hopefully, they'll come back. They'll bring their friends. They may remember something that they saw, and they'll say, I've got to have that.
Great, great. So a big part of your shop here is jewelry, and you have these examples here that, I don't know, you just told me the story. Tell me the story again.
Well, these things in particular are part of my collection. I've always collected pins because I find pins are such interesting art forms unto themselves. So I went to an organization for a long time that had a conference every year called Society of North American Goldsmiths. And they would hold these conferences in cities all around the country every year. And the very first night you would arrive at the conference and there would be a pin swap. So everyone, all of these sophisticated jewelers and designers and professors of academic classes, they would bring funky pins that they had made out of trash and things that they had in their studio. This one is made out of puzzle pieces, cardboard, that someone glued together and put a safety pin on the back. And this gal used tin. She folded tin from obviously printed containers and made most wonderful shapes. And I had another friend who took a milk bone dog biscuit and painted it and put rhinestones on it. So these are things that were made out of junk, and I call it the anti-bling jewelry, or the antidote to bling. Wonderful little dolls and figures, wrapped wire, circuitry from electronic parts, which in the 90s was just starting to kind of surface as a material that would be available to make things out of. Here's a bottle cap, just a little bottle cap pin made from, I think, a soda pop in New Mexico. Obviously, this conference was held in Albuquerque. Has a little chili charm hanging from it. And so, and this is one that I made from hardware cloth. That's the back, this is the front. Has a little piece that goes through for the pin to affix it to your clothing. Beads that I found, copper sewed to it. Oh, and one more crazy piece. Very sophisticated jeweler friend of mine took pasta, shells, and noodles and glued them together and painted them gold and black and made a very interesting brooch. So we have always liked the creative side, and we are known for our jewelry, as I said, most of which is a little more serious. but a lot of fun things. And, the sky's the limit.
Mm-hmm.
So jewelry as art, that's kind of what we specialize in doing here.
Mm-hmm. Now you briefly talked about the business scene here that almost all the businesses here are owned locally by people that are local and there aren't any big corporations around here. So and you're heavily involved in the whole business scene here and organizing things with the chamber and things like that. So so can you maybe expand on what does it mean? What does business here in downtown Ojai even mean, and what is the feel of it, and what is it like?
Well, we have a lot of interesting businesses, and fortunately, they're all quite different from each other. I always feel great about that. You'll see very little overlap, so it's not like going into the big city and looking at stores in a mall. You have clothing stores that try very hard to select things that are unique to them. We have a number of galleries. We have some interesting gift shops, and I've been the chair of the merchant committee downtown for a long time. So it really makes me proud to go around and visit all of our unique merchants. Fortunately, now we have an Ojai Visitors Bureau as of 3 years ago, where the city gave us some money. It works under the Chamber of Commerce umbrella. And so our Visitors Bureau has hired a PR firm. They're disseminating information out into the world about Ojai as a destination. And we're seeing a lot more people come through town now. So the businesses have been hanging on for a long time. It was sink or swim for a good many years. But we didn't lose that many. Not like other places where you go and you see big gaping holes in downtowns. We have no chain stores. And it's just most gratifying to be in a community where the independence of the owner is revered, and visitors seem to come for that. They come for that purpose. They know they're not going to see the usual here.
Yeah. Now I remember when we first started going around and talking to the shop owners about our idea. I mean, there are basically two sides to it. There's the fact that it's in the shops, that the art is being displayed in the shops, and then the other side is that it's art from trash. And so this combination sort of made us, we were really scared and worried, like, oh my gosh, what are people going to say about this? But it just blows our mind how well it's been accepted, and people are really looking forward to it and excited about it. Why is that? Why do people like this idea? Or are people just acting like it? Like they like it?
I think it's different and also very current. The whole theme of saving the earth, and making a small footprint and taking things that would go into a landfill and working them into art projects, it's very appealing. There's very few people that don't find that intriguing. And all of that, Ojai really works together well whenever there's a project. Or a fundraiser, or reviving our bowl across the street where we had to rebuild it from scratch. People came together who probably would never sit in the same room together. People of all economic stratas, of all beliefs. This is just a great town for getting behind a project. And, we need an art festival. Frankly, the merchants had put on short, like 1 or 2 day art events through the years, but I think we were just waiting for the right opportunity to come around and put Ojai on the map as a viable source of ingenuity and creativity. And it's a good project. I'm kind of curious to see how it's all going to play out, and then to hear what you will do for next year. And whatever it is, I'm sure it'll be great.
Great, great. Well, thanks a lot. Thank you.
You're most welcome.